Dear viewers, the show will begin in 2 minutes. The show will begin in 1 minute. The show is about to begin. Grab a drink, a snack, and please sit back, relax, and enjoy this show.
Please like and leave a comment, and share this video.
Welcome folks to From the Other Side, live show 92, Old versus New. Coming to you from Minsk, Belarus, this Wednesday night, October 30th, 2024. It's just after 8 p.m. here in Minsk, 5 p.m. in London. They've just started daylight savings, 1 p.m. on the US East Coast, 1 a.m. in China, and for you of those in down under in Sydney, it's an early 4 a.m. Tonight we have two fantastic studio guests. Returning to the show is Buba from Gambia, who now calls Minsk home. You've seen him before. Joining us for the first time is Alexey. He was also based in Minsk and the voice and face behind the Alexey Dating Podcast on YouTube. And we're diving into some fantastic topics tonight. We'll explore the evolving dynamics between men and women, traditional versus modern relationships, what Belarusian women are looking for in a partnership, and whether democracy is the best way to govern, or if leaders like President Lukashenko and President Putin might be onto something by focusing on stability and continuity. Is running a country like a family business and the way forward? Let's find out. If you're also enjoying the content, please hit that thumbs up, share the link on your social media, and please leave your opinions of what you think we're talking about in the comments below. At the end of this podcast, we'll also have our fan favorite, you don't see that in Belarus, and we will finish up with a reminder how you can win 100 in your currency, be that USA, Euros, Australian dollars, or British pounds. So let's get on to the show. But as always, this is From the Other Side.
Could be wrong, I could be right.
When we look back through history, it's clear that traditional structures, whether in the family life or in governance, offered a sense of stability and order that some find lacking today. Let's start with relationships. In a traditional model, the man was often the provider, focusing on earning a stable income, while the woman managed the household and nurtured the family. This division of responsibilities wasn't just about roles, it provided a stable foundation where each partner had a clear purpose and focus. The household was run smoothly with both partners contributing to complementary ways, which often created a close-knit family unit. Today, with shifting expectations, couples frequently aim for a 50-50 split, and in some cases, the dynamic has shifted even further. Some women expect to lead at home and in their careers, and many still desire a partner who can provide a high salary. While opens up the door for greater independence, it also places significant pressure on relationships. Divorce rates are at a record highs, and some argue that modern relationships are less stable because of the shifting and often unclear expectations. Turning to governance, we see a similar contrast. Traditional forms of government led by the monarchy or strong, long-serving leader allowed the country to benefit from consistency and a clear directions. Leaders like President Putin and President Lukashenko have each held power for over 2 decades, focusing on stability, economic growth, and national security. Russia and Belarus, as a result, have achieved a level of stability that many Western democracies, with their consistent power shifts, have struggled to replicate. President Putin has fortified Russia's global standing, working to protect the country from external pressures and building a resilient economy. Similarly, President Lukashenko has fostered a stable environment in Belarus, shielding it from the upheaval that often destabilizes nations where leadership changes frequently. These long-standing leaders bring with them experience and a dedication to their country's long-term interests, qualities that are less common in democratic systems, where leaders often focus on short-term gains to secure a re-election. In contrast, democracy as we see it today is increasingly plagued by corruption and elite interests. Rather than serving the people, many democratic systems now seem to cater primarily to powerful elites. Elected leaders can be influenced by corporate donors or by party agendas, which can detract from their ability to govern with true focus on the country's needs. And with leadership changing every few years, it's challenging to maintain any long-term vision. Policies that might benefit the nation can be abandoned or reversed with each new administration, leading to inconsistency and frustration among the population. For many, this endless cycle feels chaotic and directionless, with promises made but rarely fulfilled. Traditional leadership like that seen in Russia or Belarus offers something more enduring. It reflects a commitment to the country's long-term success and an approach where leaders' experience and consistency can be assets rather than liabilities. And just as in relationships, there's a value in knowing where you stand, in clear roles and responsibilities that aren't consistently shifting. In both the family and the nation, there's something to say about stability, continuity, and the strength that can come from knowing the direction forward is steady and committed. And I could be wrong, and I could be right. Let me know what you think in the comments.
I could be right.
Okay, welcome to the show. Tonight we've got on Alex and Buba, or Bubba as I call him. So we'll just go over to Alex and he can tell everybody who he is. Hello, can you explain who you are, where people can find you?
Hi everyone. I'm an entrepreneur here in Minsk, Belarus. You can find me on Instagram. I do a lot of street interviews with the ladies over here. They're all in Russian. There are some of them come out in English. But yeah, recently I got very much into online sales, and the business been growing. I import stuff from Vietnam, mainly coconut oil and other products. And one of the things that gives me joy in life is just opening my heart and listening to others and talking. This is the most joyful experience in life, I think. So that's what I'm here for, to discuss deep topics.
And you said you're starting a show like that one in the States, interviewing women around the studio.
I wanna build a studio and basically invite girls over and have a podcast where we talk about family and relationships, because the situation with the divorce in the Russian-speaking world is horrible these days, and this issue needs awareness, and men need to understand how to deal with modern-day women. So mainly we will do a show for the guys, and we'll invite different ladies in, and discuss how to build a strong family. What is the foundation? That's it.
Cool.
Make men strong, make families strong, and women will follow. That's the idea.
When do you think that'll be up and running?
You know, I've been postponing it and postponing. I think we'll set it up in a month or so. That's the plan.
Okay, cool. Well, if you need any help, let me know.
Okay, thank you. It's hot in here.
Yes, it is hot in here. Okay, and we've got a returning champ. Where is he? Hang on. Returning champ Buba. Bubba,
Yes.
how are you?
I'm all right. I'm
For
okay.
For some reason you're glitchy.
Oh, yes.
I don't know why that is. I'll have to find out why that's going on. Okay, let's get back to where we were before. Okay, let's go on. On this show, we usually cover world events, what's going on, and since the last show, and in the last show, Israel retaliated to Iran with a whimper, and nothing seems to have happened. It seemed Iran was able to beat off that attack with the help of Russian air defense. What I would like to ask you, Alex, is what do you think of what's happening in that part of the world, in the Middle East, with Israel attacking Lebanon, Syria, Gaza, now Iran?
I think that it's very nice to live in a peaceful country like Belarus and to run your business and not to get too much into all of these things and not to get involved in my thoughts. And I just, you know, when I hear about the bombings and attacks anywhere, you ask one question: where is the money? Why is this happening? And you follow the money and you understand what is the issue here. The Russians in general and this region, we just want to live peaceful life. You know, Belarus been ran over through so many times, and we just want to stay away from wars. And we wish everyone in that region the same, but it's nearly impossible these days because the West and they're putting their hands everywhere.
Now look what's happening in Georgia now. There was just an election, and now they're saying that it wasn't fair, and they're trying to change that.
Yeah, that's because the pro-Russian, everywhere where the pro-Russian government goes in, or somewhat supportive and not towards the West or towards America, they try to manipulate it.
Yeah.
Through propaganda, and this is the thing. I think this is the main thing where this Eastern Bloc or this BRICS, let's call them the BRICS bloc, they're lost in this wars in the media. I mean, all the media outlets, they belong to the Western world, and they're the best developed, and the information goes through them very fast. It's a good thing that, you know, things like Telegram or X, they exist where you can speak freely, and you can say whatever you want. But still, if you look at what happened in Belarus 5 years ago, Telegram, because of its freedom of speech, was used as the
main driver for the attempted color revolution.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, and the BRICS, they're just not involved into this. They don't know how to manipulate the minds of the West to show what is the reality. And many people in the West, they're living in a delusional world. The
other problem, of course, in the West is they've banned all the as in Russia Today and all those other places. So it's very hard to get information on what's going on, even if they had a really good media production. You know, like it's in London, in England, you can't watch RT, right? You can't watch Sputnik. So you can't watch any of those. No. And I'm sure they're about to ban the Chinese CNN as well. You know, they'll probably do that one as well.
Yeah, but there's Rumble, there are alternative sources, people who really want to get the info. They'll get to it and they'll form the perspective.
You know, Rumble's banned in France, eh? You can't watch it there.
That's new information for me.
Yeah, see, so that's what they'll do in the West. They'll just start banning things that they don't want you to see. You know, I'm sure they're going to try and do that with X as well. It's just a bit harder for them to do that.
Yeah, and it's very interesting what's happening in the Middle East, because people here, they're very much focused on what's happening in Ukraine, and attention of the media is there, and people's attention is in Ukraine, and as of sitting here and just, there's another war, and it's for me at least, it's absolutely obvious that America is involved in all of this. I mean, they have so much money, they have so much power, they just... The thing is that if you look from the perspective of the dollar, the more tension there is in the world, the stronger the dollar is.
Mm-hmm.
So you bring up the tension, then people want to grab to something safe, and that's where they go for. They go for the dollars, and you see what America did with Europe. Basically, Europe is the colony of the States in terms of the economics, and with this war in Ukraine, it's so obvious that the Americans, they ruined the German economy. They ruined it with the blowing up the pipe.
You mean Putin didn't blow that up?
I mean, that's obvious. I mean, they...
I know, I was actually being funny.
Yeah.
It's just like, I know they keep saying that the Russians blew up their own pipeline. It's like ridiculous.
So, and you see now how the German economy, I just saw the news this morning that the Volkswagen, they're closing 3 factories in Germany.
Yeah.
And the China is winning in the competition for the electric cars, and they will take over the rest of the cars as well.
Yeah.
So Europe is in big danger in terms of their factories and their production and their workforce, and it's all because of America.
Yep.
The thing that needs to happen is that Europe and Germany, they need to come together with Russia and be a one strong economy, because they're on the same continent, they're right next to each other. The only problem is that they're American bases. There's American war bases all over the world.
Mm-hmm.
One thing about the States, was very interesting to me. Do you know where is the biggest American embassy?
Where?
Baghdad.
Oh, yeah.
The second biggest one is, I would never guess this country. It's in Armenia.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And if you look at the embassies, the bigger the embassy, basically, the bigger the country has the influence on that place.
Mm-hmm.
And Armenia is like a friend of Belarus, friend of Russia, all of this. And but you see how many Americans, the bigger basically the embassy, the bigger the influence they have towards this country. And now you see what's happening with Armenia is that Armenia is leaning more towards the West now.
Mm-hmm.
They're going away from the Russian world.
Yeah, I know. There's American troops there training them as well now, starting that.
Exactly. And it's just crazy world, crazy reality. I mean, 30 years ago, we were in one country. Now we're still in economic union. There's still goods are traded. I mean, when I look at the people who are ordering my products, which I import, there are some people from Armenia also.
Mm-hmm.
But the training with American forces and militarization of Armenia doesn't look good for me in this region. Especially what's happening with the war and with the Azerbaijan and stuff. Everyone wants to live and just, grow their food or build their businesses, have their families, and now everyone is scared.
Yeah, I saw those 2 leaders from talking to each other at BRICS as well. So maybe
Yeah.
hopefully they'll be talking about something.
I don't think
It's like here, it's like here. They keep saying Lukashenko's a warmonger and all that, but then you just ask, how many places has he invaded? 0, right?
Exactly.
How many wars has he started? 0, right? And they just keep saying that all the time, just constantly. It's just.
Yeah, exactly. There's one thing I would love to have a conversation about is. There was a big movement, and one of the biggest media outlets in Russia, which has grown in the last, basically since the war in Ukraine started, was Tsargrad and Tsargrad. I don't know if you say it in English, and basically, it's a media outlet that promotes monarchy, that promotes strong leadership. And promotes less immigrants in Russia. And you see so what happened because of this terrorist attack, which happened like half a year ago in Russia.
Yeah.
They started to restrict the rules on immigrants. For Belarusians, it's very easy to get a passport in Russia. You know their language. It's like it takes like 6 months for you to get the passport. And one of my companies is actually in Russia because the taxes are low there. It's extremely low taxes in Russia, and right now Putin they signed a form which if you support the Russian agenda, if you want to live in a free world, if you want to live a peaceful life, just move to Russia, and they will give you a residency. You don't have to know the language. If you're just fed up with the Western world, just come to Russia. There are so many nice places there. And if you have the cash, you can start the business. From my experience, you take any business from the West and bring it here, it's just flowing. I grew up I spent my youth in America, and I went to boarding school there and university. The products I was using there, which I liked, coconut water, coconut oil. I went to Vietnam, found them, brought them here.
More cheaper.
Yeah, and it's just my business is growing, and I sell mainly all my clients are in Russia. So take money, sell houses, move here. There's so much land here, you can work. I just encourage everybody. I think in terms of place of living, this part of the world is the safest. Because if you look at Belarus, if you look at Russia, we have the weapons. Nobody's gonna attack us.
Yeah, I believe that.
It's a very very safe place, and the only thing that can happen is the coup inside. There's something the change of power inside.
Yeah.
But the thing is as they are right now. I think Russia is a very good place to come and do the business, come start a family. The Russian girls, they're not as spoiled as the Western ones, and their brains are not as destroyed. And there is still, Russian Orthodoxy. There is a big stronghold of religious people here. So I think there's a lot of land here. The nature is gorgeous. I just love living here. One thing when I lived in the West, and I couldn't find it. Except for one place was Budapest. I lived there for 2 years. Is the sauna.
All right.
The Western world is just they don't have good Russian saunas there.
Yeah.
And here you have all seasons. You have the saunas, and it's the best way to relax, at least for me. So I love living here. I lived many places. Belarus for me is one of the best places to live. Climate could be a little bit better. You want to fly to Moscow in 1 hour, go to Moscow is like the theater capital of the world. Everything is there. It's a good place to live. I encourage everybody.
Yeah, I know a few people actually. I was talking to someone in Australia a couple of days ago. They're selling their places there, and they're looking to moving actually here as well. That's the biggest problem at the moment is getting your money here. That's a big problem is getting from the west to here.
Yeah, if you have them on, you cannot bring them too much cash with you. That's true.
Oh, yeah. You can bring up to 100,000 if you tell them, here,
Yeah.
if you declare it. But, if you wanted to bring more than that, it just starts becoming...
Pain in the ass, yeah.
Yeah, but even if you got money overseas, it's difficult, They only just changed the rules a couple months ago. After what happened in 2020, they changed the rules for the ATMs as you could only take 500 rubles out per week per foreign card. And that's to stop, giving them a card here and taking money out to foment a colour revolution, right? And that's only just changed, right? So, it's just really difficult, and if you want to transfer money here to buy a car or something, it's just forget it from the West, you got to get around it another way.
Very interesting.
Well, I think I always tell people this. Literally, sometimes you might not need a lot of money, to start business once in Belarus. You understand? According to what I understand, since I was running a business over here, 100,000 would be huge money, for example, to be able to come and start a business once and then just move forward with that like that. Basically, with 50,000, 40, 10, 20,000 can start something and can get you surviving. Literally, if you understand the market. So that is one thing I always try to, get to myself explain is, if you are a Russian or a Belarusian business person and you understand the literature of Russian business, you can survive business anywhere globally because of, the rules that govern the business policy. Is a monarchy of you being so much careful to who to trust in your business, what to do with your business, and how to run your business. And then there is a line of business that anything that you build here survive.
Yeah.
Depends on what you're doing, but anything that you build here survive, literally. So, literally, what I do with my student programs, for instance, works a lot. Literally, there is a season for student program that if somebody want to come and study directly, but you also come to understand that there is people that are coming from African countries or other countries here, only here to study the language, literally, to understand. Okay, and real estate, we had this conversation some time ago that in the few years to come, is going to go higher in Belarus, because few years ago it was good. There was Airbnb over here, there was all this European, whatever you want to do over here, it was quick and faster. But after some years they pull it out. They be like, oh, sanctions, this, Belarus is that. But the reality fact is, imagine, I went to Zara the last time to buy a shoe. Zara in Europe is more expensive than Zara in Belarus. I promise you that. I bought a shoe for 150 rubles. That shoe that I'm wearing. But when I check it in the online, in the European site, it was 222 euros. The same shoe for the same brand, for the same company. So you understand that there is a tax system here.
It's all those sale taxes in Europe and all that. They just kill everything.
Exactly.
In England now, they're about to put up the income tax and all that to, like nearly 45%. So, and already it's expensive, When we were in London, I was paying £2,500 a month, right?
Yeah.
To live in London.
Yeah.
Just rent and electricity, that's it. That's no food and everything else. Here, I'm running 4 places at the moment, Wife's mother's place, the place we're building, this studio, and where we're living renting now, and it's only just $1,000. That's it.
Yeah.
Massive difference.
Yeah.
And of course in London as well, I used to dress like a homeless person so I wouldn't get robbed, because it's
crazy.
It's just become really dangerous there.
It's so crazy.
Yeah, and like I was saying earlier, a friend who's lived in one area last 25 years, he said he might as well just be in Africa now. And then when he walks down the street, they look at him like he shouldn't be there.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's crazy, man. It's honestly.
yeah, it is. It's just ridiculous.
Well, that's one thing that people don't know about Belarus. Is fun to live. When I came first here, I was having all the questions. Why Belarus? Why this? Hey, Russian girls are beautiful. That's one thing that can keep you over here. Secondly, life is more like a free country. I can walk with my iPhone 15 Pro Max anywhere, holding it like this, and nobody is not even mad to come close and say, "Hey, your phone, give me that." You go to jail. The camera will take you to jail.
Yeah, no, this is a funny story for you. You know, I keep every now and again I leave something in the car. You know, like on the dashboard. You know, like GPS, and then next morning go, oh fucking shit, run down there, and I think, oh yeah, that's right.
No, this is Belarus.
They don't smash the windows here and fucking take stuff. You know, so we tell everybody on the show, you know, it's safe here, it's clean. You know.
Yeah, it's extremely nice place.
And it's free as long as you don't want to overtake. You know, you don't want to take the government over, which is fair enough. I mean, you're not supposed to take the government over in any country, right? They get sort of pissed off in any country if you try and do that. So you know, here it's a nice place to live, and especially for Westerners, if you're making money outside the country, you can live like a king here. You know, because the prices are low and service prices are low and all that sort of thing. So,
absolutely. I mean, I have a friend. He's from Austria, and he's 30, like 31, and he's just in love. He comes here. I don't know if he has a residency. He has an apartment here. He bought one, and he has a business, online business, selling some shoes of his own making, and goes to Moscow, goes to Russia, in love with the girls here.
Yeah.
Of course, to live this kind of life, you need money. Belarus is not a place where you go and make a lot of money on the wage job.
Yeah.
But it's not that hard to make money these days. There's so many opportunities.
Yeah.
If you look at there's so many people who are moved out. Who move out of the Western countries these days, and I had some friends who moved to America from here, and I look at them like they're crazy. I mean, in this day and age, you're going from here, you're going there. What for? I mean, you got everything here now.
Yeah,
exactly.
Everything.
Exactly. When I first came here, 2008, obviously there was a lot of things missing here.
Yeah.
You know, in fact, they were still using typewriters in a lot of places, not even computers. And I thought that was like quaint. That was interesting. You know.
Mm-hmm.
But like you said, now you can get most things here. You know.
Everything.
Yeah. And as you know, you can use Yandex or any of those sort of places and order stuff online, like Amazon. You know, if you wanted to. So you can get lots of things here now.
Yeah. So Belarus it's a wonderful place to have a base. To be honest with you, looking at what's happening around and looking at the history, Belarus is not a very safe place in terms of history. It's like been ran through many wars over and over again.
Yeah.
So I would even consider myself, if I want to have like a stronghold, a family, I would move somewhere inland Russia. Because you never know what's gonna happen next year.
On the other side of the Urals.
Yeah, like I mean, until like Putin is in charge or Lukashenko is in charge, everything is gonna be safe and sound.
Yeah.
But you know, if you look in 20 years from now, what's gonna happen? Nobody knows. But if you look, if you study the history, the chance that this place is gonna stay out of war is very low.
Yeah.
Because it's entrance to Russia. And all these Western countries, they always want to conquer Russia.
Yeah.
We're just trying to defend. We're trying to be nice. Russia welcomes everybody. Learn the language, learn the culture, come here, live. Belarus is a place for living. This is like the slogan of this country.
You know, I watched one American guy on TikTok. He now lives in Russia now. He got a passport there. He got, I think, a residency, stuff like that. He was talking on TikTok some time ago. He was like, "Oh, Americans, them are lying to you, dog. Them are lying to you. They saying a lot of shit about this place. I'm in the village. I'm safe. And nobody's coming to me." As far as they heard that I'm American, I'm now naturalized as a Russian, stuff like that.
Yeah.
He said people are welcoming the sauna. He talks about the sauna, the culture, the people, the towns, the city of Moscow, subways, the streets, the people, even the military guys having fun with him and stuff like that. He said there is no best place to live than Russia.
Yeah.
You understand? So you always understand that there is a backstory that they always said. When I said Belarus, you had the word Belarus, all they say is war, right? Even in Africa, to convince somebody here before was a problem. If you tell your like a parent's child that, oh, I'm going to study in Belarus, oh no, come on, man, I hope the place is safe. I said, I'm alive.
Yeah.
I'm good. I'm talking to you on the phone.
That's what I say all the time. They always keep saying that Lukashenko's a warmonger. It's like, yeah, but he hasn't never started any wars since he's been in power.
Yeah, that's just a bunch of propaganda
Yeah,
that they're
exactly.
putting in people's heads over there.
Yeah, yeah.
The other side is that America is the warmonger.
Well, it is a warmonger. Yeah, well, it is.
I mean, you know, there's election coming in America, but there's also election coming in Belarus.
Yeah.
January 26th, right?
You've discussed this on the podcast?
No.
So Belarus will have an election, and I really like the way they set everything up. I'm not a proponent of elections at all, to be honest with you. I'm a proponent of monarchy.
Mm-hmm.
You just select one leader, and he will pass generation after generation. It's a much safer way. I think that the
problem with that is you might get the next guy who's a bit of a dipshit. You know, like that's the problem with that sort of thing.
But let's discuss it. What is the likelihood of you getting a dipshit through the elections?
Oh yes, yeah, more highly likely than that. Yeah.
Versus getting a dipshit through a guy who trained his son to be a good leader, if he was a good leader. And it's like, you know...
Do you think Lukashenko's doing that to his son?
I think that's a problem throughout generation in general. You see what happened with the Soviet schooling system? I was just going to give an example. Let's take an Italian shoemaker.
Yeah.
Italian shoemaker will pass... He will have a dynasty of shoemakers. His son will be shoemakers, or like a wine guys. Wine business it's a big business, and it's generational.
Yeah.
So I think that, and what happened with the school system is that, for example, Lukashenko, like everyone else in this country, they send their children to school, and who's teaching them in school? What are they learning there? I think that's I think there's a big issue with the schooling in Belarus, everywhere in the world. They're just not teaching people practical skills. Before, when you study the history of Tsar family, big families, fathers pass their knowledge through their generations. They know how to, you know, what is the goal of our country? What are we about? The democracy, in my understanding, was basically created to overthrow governments. It's just a manipulation. Who can people elect? I mean, people vote for whoever invests more money in advertising. Yeah. Look at the election in America. I mean, who's gonna vote for this crazy woman?
Oh shit!
Or this guy who cannot walk. How can he have anybody who votes for him? It's just not reasonable. And you have Donald Trump, who speaks on a podcast. I haven't finished watching him with Joe Rogan. He speaks fondly, and he's just a enjoyable person to be around. And you have to elect the leader every 4 years. To me, in my understanding and in my perspective, is just craziness. And what's happening in Belarus elections, and I really like it, because last time it was, everything they did was wrong, and they improved. Hopefully they improved this year. And I'm all in for that. You just take one leader like Putin or Lukashenko, give him the life sentence of a president. I mean, they've done a good job already. Why not to extend it? Yeah, just continue that. And I think it's more reasonable than having elections and having a risk of somebody financing from the West.
Like what's happening in Georgia now.
Yeah, somebody financing from the West and having riots. It's bad for the business. It's bad for economy. It's bad for everybody. Families are suffering. People are thrown in jails. Some people have to leave the country. It's just horrible. People die in this coups and revolutions and so on and so forth. I was just listening to a documentary on way here, how Lenin came to power. There was no need for this. And the less revolutions, the less war we have, the more stable the economy.
That was backed by the West as well, Lenin, wasn't it?
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
To overthrow the Russians out.
Of course. It's, I mean, what's the West is doing is, it's horrible. We just want to live peaceful life. I want to live a peaceful life. I want to have a big family. I want to have my children, follow my dynasty, follow my business, follow my craft, what I'm doing. Why change? Why change anything? It's a good thing I went and studied in America. I got exposed to this culture, and I got exposed to it before this craziness happened, because I imagined myself, if I stayed there and I lived there and I built a career, I would not want to live in a world like that. There are some places, maybe like Florida, where they have not very democratic, where they have the Republicans. Maybe it's a little bit better to live, but in overall, in terms of this media outlets and propaganda of the Western craziness, for me, is just nonsensical. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Especially with this woke agenda and LGBT stuff that's sweeping the West as well.
Shit.
Yeah, that's just.
I
too
heard
much for
Trump
me.
saying that if I come to power, this was like a few days ago, I'm gonna stop this cross-gender. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was like, God created two people, a man and a woman.
Yeah.
Just 2-3 days ago, something like that. And that was, I think, in Ohio, Michigan. I'm not really sure where he was, but.
Yeah, exactly.
And you see, this is the war between the conservatives and the liberals. And the people who want changes, who want wars, they're liberals. People who want to live a peaceful life, they live conservatively.
Yeah.
They want to pay low taxes, they want to have many children, and they want to follow some law of God.
Yeah.
And be left alone.
Yeah, just
Not to be
Let
interfered
me-
with.
let me do my thing. That's all.
Exactly.
That's for sure. That's for sure.
That's what Ronald Reagan said, remember? Most scary 9 words in the world. I'm from the government, I'm here to help you.
Exactly.
Exactly. So there you go.
You see that's the thing. I generally believe that most people that they shouldn't be allowed to vote. I generally believe that women should not be allowed to vote. We can discuss that actually.
Well, I've come to the realization they shouldn't be in Parliament because they make irrational decisions on emotions instead of actually
Exactly.
logic.
Exactly. The argument that the conservatives have in the West is that they're like, look what's happening in Ukraine. They elected this clown, and who elected him? I mean, most of the people who vote in Russia and Belarus and Ukraine, they're mostly women, and women are very easily manipulated through emotions. Very easily manipulated. So when you have a Western agenda, you have Western propaganda, you just blast them with the scare news. They stop thinking rationally, and they vote for some crazy guy who arms the entire country. Lukashenko is a warmonger? No. People in Ukraine are.
Yep.
I tell everybody,
Yep.
Lukashenko, for me, he seems like he generally loves his country. That's what he seems to me, right? When you watch him and doing all that sort of thing, and he's seems to be always working very hard as well. Like going here, going there, and all that sort of thing. Unlike Western leaders who
Keep on traveling.
don't you see doing very much at all.
Yeah. I mean, this is at least this is the image that they're putting out for Belarusians, and I think, this is how the leader should be. He knows his country, and there are some leaders in Russia, because Russia is a huge country, like him. But overall, if you compare all the negatives and the positives of his ruling and his presidency, I think that there is absolutely nothing to complain about. There are some things we can improve on, but I think everybody has those things. I do, you do, everybody does.
That's true. That's true.
So this is a good argument that you mention when you talk about the monarchy and putting. It's like comparing family business, which is run through generations, versus the business that's just started in the first hand. Who's going to be more experienced? And this is the thing about schooling system. You see that that's why I'm a big proponent of homeschooling, because homeschooling could be more about the actual life, what the father is doing, what the mother is doing. The sons, they become like father, girls, they become like mother. Of course, you learn how to read and write and so on and so forth. But why would you allow some people from the outside put some ideas in your children's head?
Like in the West, where these teachers are teaching all this trans stuff and all that to all these young kids and all that.
Yeah,
in the schools.
Exactly. And what is it good for the society? What is it good for the family? I don't understand. That's the other thing, which is
but in the West they want to break up the families, right? That's what they're trying to do, is break up the families.
Yeah.
Because
I think what it looks to me is that the Western propaganda is aimed to decrease the population of the people.
Yeah.
But the propaganda in Russia, in terms of at least what they say, doesn't always match on what they do, is that they want to have a strong family unit. But even in Russia, in Belarus, we have a big problem with this. And the problem with this is that modern day men, this is the thing what I always talk about. They're absolutely powerless in a family. If you go on the street and ask any girl here who's supposed to be in charge, all of them say 50-50. And this 50-50 nonsense, it came from the communist era. And basically, if you see the ideas that are ruling the West nowadays, like feminism, this LGBTQ stuff, it all comes from Marxist ideas, the Marxist ideology. I saw a documentary, it came out in the 80s, it's on YouTube. They asked the question of to the Soviet women, who is in charge of the house? Oh no, they ask this: what do you do with the salary? They ask to the men. You see, and the thing, what happened is that in the Soviet Union, both sexes had to work. They put the children in kindergartens. They put them in schools, and the fathers, they would give their money that they make to their mother. So the mother was in charge of the family. And when you look at this picture, you're like, what is this? It's absolutely against any God-centered doctrine, where a man is in charge, where a man is in power, where a man is the leader. So instead they gave the leadership role to the women. And now what family in Russia, in Belarus looks like, it's a deal between the women and the government, and men are just there to pay for this. They have no critical say, they have no, they're just financing stuff, and when you run out of finances, they just leave. And that's why the divorce rate is so high, because the government here, and it comes from the Soviet times, they made it there was an economic incentive for women to break a family. This is the same problem in the West, and this is the problem that the feminist movement has created. They try to make equal with the things that cannot be equal, which is men and women. We're not equal, we're different, and there's absolutely no equality. I'm the big proponent of this is one thing about the monarchy before the communist revolution. I don't know if you know this, probably not. But in the Tsar country, where Tsar was in charge, and when this manufacturing and the production and the factories, they started coming along, they started to build them, men, if they had a family, they were paid double salary, so they could take care of their family. But if you're single, you just get a regular wage. Right now, nobody's doing that. But I think that's a very good stimulus for the family and for the men in charge. Because as of right now, like for example, the average salary in Belarus is like $700 in Minsk. And for you to maintain a family, and so your wife doesn't have to work and she can take care of the children, you need about $1,500 per month to live a comfortable life, like to pay for your mortgage, to pay for everything. And not many men can make it. I mean, maybe 20%. So how can men be in charge?
Yeah.
But when man is not in charge, there is no such thing as big family.
Yeah. I think I believe that, because it's you know, if you check example of most of the ladies here, most of them I have seen, they love being with foreign nationals, basically for many reasons, right?
Money.
Exactly. And why I put it this way is most of foreign, let me say example as we African from Gambia, Nigeria and Ghana, we know on, like, we're supposed to be the head of the family, so we take care of a family, right? And the women take care of the house, the home. That's your space, right? So I don't need you to stress walking and go back and in and out. And most ladies in Belarus enjoy that. And also other reasons why they also love most of the people coming from Iran, from Saudi, you know, from all these UAE countries, is because the same thing, all right? And the survivor has said here, a paid job will not sustain you as either a foreign national or even a citizen of Belarus.
Exactly.
You gotta have like secondary job or a business. No disrespect, even in Europe, I know there are people who are living under the salary of 800 euros. I know people that live under that kind of salary. Some of them live under like 1,000 euro, you know, 1,500 euros, depends. But rent in Europe is expensive. In Paris, living in Paris, you're gonna pay like a single corridor, you're gonna pay nothing less than 700 euros.
Oh, like I said in London, you know, even a studio like this size of this place is at least £1,500 a month.
I was living in Marlborough. That is like some way 2 hours away from London, right? I was paying over 1,500. That's plus taxes and everything. So if I don't make a money which is close to £1,500, I'm fucked.
Yeah. See, the situation with it's everywhere. The price of rent, it's a lot higher than, I mean, to pay a rent here, so for example, you make $700 average salary in Minsk. The rent on average is 300, 350 for a studio. And then you're gonna live on this the other 350. You can survive. The same thing the same thing when you go to Europe. Okay, they will charge you for a studio like this like $1,000. You'll be making $2,000 there. Okay, so you'll be giving half of what you earn to pay the rent. I lived in America, I lived in Europe, and one thing I did in Europe is that I traveled a lot and I was preaching to people on the streets. A lot of conversations, mainly with Norwegians and Swiss people. Yeah. And the salaries there, they're super high.
Yeah.
But the same is that the prices are super high.
And the taxing as well in Scandinavia is really high.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in terms of like living standard, from what I see, if you run a business of some kind, you can do well and you can be above the
average
above the average. Exactly.
Yeah.
You just gotta work. I mean,
That's it. That's it.
exactly.
And I also understand that some of the Belarusian, not all of them though, most of the young boys growing up, basically just want to work for some certain time and then hit to the club. You know.
But that's the reality. That's how people function. People are generally people are lazy. That's the thing. And the idea in people's head is that I wanna have all the money in the world and do nothing. So
That's the scariest shit I can ever hear from people saying that all the time.
that's what they want.
Yeah.
That's, if you look at the girls, that's what they want.
Yeah.
I mean, you look on the Russian TikTok or Belarus or Ukraine, whatever. How much money when you meant to make? They give some crazy number, like $10,000 per month. Okay,
Mm.
and then what are you gonna provide? Is he gonna cook? Are you gonna cook, or are you gonna do? They don't want to do anything. And they just know that I'm a beautiful girl, and I want.
Oh.
And I don't want to do it. Don't want to do any house chores. And to me, they just need to go and heal their mind. Heal their head. I mean, they're gonna face the reality at some point.
You know why I love Nigerian people? They will make you Nigerian. You see, if you have a Nigerian boyfriend or a Nigerian girlfriend,
Yeah.
you will become a Nigerian.
Tell me about it.
Yeah, because Nigerians have this slogan is, we know they take shit. Like we don't care from which boundary you fall from which sky. If I'm an Igbo person, because they have a lot of tribes, and I got married to a Belarusian lady, she will learn how to cook fufu. These are local food.
Yeah.
She will learn how to cook eba. She will learn how to cook jollof rice, and she will fly with me to Nigeria to live at least a month the way we live and know our culture. That's Nigerian for you. They have that strong boldness inside them. Most of ladies that I know some Russian girls who are married to Nigerians, they love them culture, you know, and they teach them to live with their families. Because you understand that most of the West, not just Belarus in general, don't want too many people, your sister, your mother, and stuff like that. They feel so much uncomfortable, so much disrespectful. But a Nigerian person will make you live with her mom, make you live with her sister, make you live with her brother, just for you to learn how they live. Then you can come back and live with your normal life. So in case of tomorrow, for you to understand that your child might be somewhere else in the globe and will be lost, somebody will have to help the person. So living the life of a Nigerian life and a Senegalese too, you gotta be within this perspective.
Mhm.
You have to understand that
Extended family, big family.
yes, I am who I am. You can't change that. If you want to stay, they will tell you, if you don't want this marriage, leave. I don't force you to come in.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? So that mentality of Nigerian people, you know, living with whoever they are. Nigerian marry every kind of person anywhere. From Austria, from England, they will make you to become, you wear their attires, you wear the African clothes that they wear. You by force, you will do that.
Mm-hmm.
That's their culture. Their mom will come and blast you in your face. Who are you? What do you know? So, stuff like that. So it's more like a technical life of teaching you that the way we were brought in with respect, how to respect families, how to become a family person. You have to learn to cook. Your husband have to provide you with money, with food, with clothes, with everything. You have to provide your husband with food, to eat, to clean the house, to make sure that you remind him about the bills to pay, to make sure you remind him that we have to go to this place. That is your responsibility in the house. You understand? So I live the same kind of life. I'm not a Nigerian, I'm a Gambian.
Mm-hmm.
My household is different. You gotta live the way I live. I'm an African. That's for me, it's inside. That's the understanding I have with my girlfriend. The last interview I told you the same thing.
Exactly.
You know? So I am really proud having a Belarusian, but who still understand that I am a cultural person. But I don't allow my culture to affect my relationship. It's just boundary respect. But this is like an exemplary of you knowing some type of African typicality. That's how it is directly. Because
But you see, if you're a man, I believe it. This is my belief. She has to follow. So if you have a certain culture, she needs to convert into this culture. There is no other way around.
bro, there's no 50%. That's not possible.
Yeah, it's not. It's just doesn't work like
In
this.
Islam, it is said that women are 85 50%. Why 85? Not because they provide you, because they know everything in the house. They own the house. Bro, they might put your shoe under the cupboard. You don't even know. You have to look for it. You have to ask, hey, why is my shoe? It's there. What you do in that 15% is to provide. You be the provider. But C is everything.
But the other thing is that you have to, if you look at the laws of how the families run these days, and this is a big problem. I mean, I'm all for, no divorce, strong family.
Oh yeah.
But right now there is absolutely very little incentive for modern day women to live a life like what you're talking about.
I understand that.
To follow man, to obey his guidance, to put your ego outside of the relationship and just become a faithful follower of your husband.
That's
whatever happens to him, I accept. If he becomes a millionaire, I accept. If he becomes a bum, I accept. We work through this together. And this is not the mentality of modern day women.
But I think also it's also from the start though. When you meet a woman, you impress her with what you have.
This is
you fuck yourself.
Exactly.
You understand? Because I cannot meet a girl and then tell I'm rich while I'm not rich. I'm rich for a specific period of a time, but I don't know what will happen in the years coming.
Yeah.
You have to have this combination of you living the life that you were brought up by, to conceal that woman, to follow that path. If you become poor, she grow with you. If you become rich, she still go with you. I would give a congratulations to him. He survived a 15 years marriage. That's a lot. Based on how you yourself grew.
16.
Exactly. 16, that's a wonderful marriage. You understand?
Yeah.
So this current wife is 16 years.
Yeah, Belarusian, yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So literally, that's a longer period.
What is the age difference?
18, 19 years.
You're older.
Nice. It's
Very
normal.
good.
Very
good.
It depends on how you started. Because I think this is the problem that a lot of even Belarusian people go through with their girlfriends. When I go to the club, I saw girls, giving bad words to their boyfriends, giving them.
Yeah.
I feel so pity. I was like, she's never gonna do that to me. I would get the fuck out of my house, because nobody will swear for me, especially a lady. If you swear for me, I leave or you leave. You understand? So they have to have this perspective and, bring in a woman. Me who I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't do all that shit. My girlfriend used to drink, and she used to smoke a lot. But now, she don't drink. She got the smell of alcohol. She was like, she's disgusted. I don't ask her to stop.
If you want to be with me, you gotta stop. That's all.
Yes. I don't even ask her to stop. I said, I don't like alcohol. No alcohol in my house. You can drink it outside. But now she don't go outside without me. Now how will she drink it? So automatically in the mind, it's structured now. Smoking before, it was a packet 2 days is done. But now a packet can stay 7-8 days. You understand? You cannot stop them to do a lot of things, but you just need to guide them. You understand? To be in that part that you want to be. We survived 1 year relationship.
Survive.
And this
it's a pity your new show with all these Belarusian women will be in Russian. So, was that you? Yeah, that's the dog. The security.
That's my friend over there.
The security's going off. It's a pity it'll be all in Russian, because it'll be interesting to listen to these. You want to get an AI program to convert it all into English.
I looked at those programs. They charge up your ass for the pricing.
Yeah, I know.
It's super expensive.
That's what I've been doing with the videos for Lukashenko and all. I've been converting them into English,
Okay.
And it's costing me for every show about $20 just to do conversions and subtitles and all those sort of things.
For you, it's a lot cheaper to just pay a salary to a translator here, than to pay for the foreign AA tools. Yeah, you can hire a translator. You can pay her $400, $500 per month, and she'll do an assignment for you.
Working.
Yeah, and they will enjoy it. And then you have the mics. You can put the sound towards it, and that's it. That's what I would do, because I have some text translated for me, some talks that I did, some videos I filmed, and it costs literally very little to do that.
I'll have to talk to you that about later.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because the eye is quite expensive. Yeah.
It is. It is. It is. It is.
So yeah, these are the issues. The family issue is huge in Belarus. There's a lot of people divorcing, and from my perspective, from what I saw, is that the main reason why is that the women who are supposed to be the keeper in the family,
Exactly.
who are supposed to be the one that's makes everything nice, make everything comfortable, they are leaning towards becoming more like a man, and it's a big issue. And it's been like this since Soviet times here, because you see, war, a lot of men died. A lot of men died means women have to work hard. So this idea of a strong family where a man is the leader and he has enough money to provide for the family, it's basically comes from this propaganda, or American propaganda, of middle class from the 60s, from the 60s, early 70s, where you have your own house, you have your own car, you have your lawn, you have a backyard where people get together, they chit chat and stuff like this, and it was never like this here.
Yeah, I know.
It was never like this. So the only tradition in Russia, in Belarus, that we have is from what was here before the communists came. The strong family unit, people, both sexes, they worked a lot, and mainly the woman worked hard in the family. Man could work outside, or he could have his own household and grow his crops and do whatever, have a little business. So no examples, and now we have what we have. We have both sexes are working. Women, when they say 50-50, what it actually means is that woman is the leader in the family, but she's the leader not directly, she's the leader through manipulation.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they're extremely good at it.
Oh. Yeah.
And this is how most Russian, Belarus households are run. They're run by women, and men are not strong enough to tell them to shut their mouth.
Shut the fuck up.
Exactly.
That's just it.
They're not strong enough. But in order from what I understand and from what I experienced, is that in order for man to be a strong leader, stay away from alcohol, stay away from drugs.
Yes.
Stay away from the things that make you weaker.
Exactly.
Because those things that they can make you slip, and when you slip, it's hard to be a leader when you slip.
Yeah.
Women will
fuck you all the time.
Exactly, and manipulate you and tell you did this wrong, you did this wrong. This is how many women in this country operate. And I've seen this in my family. I've seen this in my grandparents' families. This is the situation. When you look inside of your heart, like every man, I want to be a provider. I want to make good money. I want women to follow. I want my children to follow and continue my business. Everyone wants the same. All the guys.
Short term is like when your woman's make more money than you got no respect. And
Yeah.
secondly, this guy was dating a girlfriend. He was too nice. Just being too nice, the girlfriend left him
Exactly.
because he said the guy is too nice.
Exactly.
I told my girlfriend, you mean what? What did he say? He was too nice. So he wants somebody who'll be fucking with his head. Well, that's some bullshit. And this guy make good money. He take care of you and then all that, but because you ain't that rough, you too nice, everything is yes, there is no and shit like that.
This is a normal situation. I mean, there's so many women like this who ruin their marriages here. They want somebody who's... This is the nature of a woman.
Toxic.
Toxic is when you have no father, when you grow up in a family with no father figure, they want toxic. But the reality is that they want a strong man who can say no, who will be like a father figure in the relationship, and this is what they're attracted to. They're attracted to somebody who can dominate, somebody who can lead, somebody who can say no, and at the same time, this guy, he's nice to her. He gives love.
Invite Nigerians.
He gives love. He gives affection to this woman. But at the same time, if she does something wrong, he tells her, "You're wrong." But these nice guys, they don't tell her.
Yeah.
And that's why they mix the boundaries. They fuck with their heads, and they ruin the relationships. If you look at the statistics, women, the ones that are breaking the families, they're the ones who are ruining the relationships. And the main reason is this is what you were talking about. They want some craziness in the relationship.
Yeah. You gotta be crazy. You have to be with them every time bitter. Tell
Exactly.
them that, no, fuck no. You ain't doing this shit. Yes, you're gonna do this shit.
And the women like this, they're not suitable for a family, because you see, family life, you operate in the family life on different hormones. You operate on calmness, peacefulness,
Yeah.
hard work, stability. You operate on stability, not on crazy emotions. Dopamine hits like, oh, I want to go there, I want to go there. That's why also, in this modern day and age, this propaganda that comes from the West about traveling the world, I mean, what's there to see? If you look at any scripture, people are the same everywhere. They suffer from greed, they suffer from anger, we all have the same sins. We all have the same inability.
Well, like you, I've lived in multiple countries, right? And when you're there, you've still got to eat, you've still got to wash your clothes, you've still got to go to the toilet, right? Blah, blah, blah. It's excess,
You go through the same routine.
Yeah, exactly.
But when you travel, is that, okay, you can try different dishes here and there.
Yeah.
But if you look at the reality, the dishes, they're all pretty much the same. It's a mix of carbohydrates with protein and different spices, depending on the country. And that's it. So and people are manipulated through, oh, I gotta go there, oh, I gotta see this, oh, I gotta try that. And it's all about, not feeling the happiness within.
Yeah.
And the only way, in my perspective, in my understanding of this life, the only way to feel happy constantly and to be happy with your routine life, with your family life, is to believe in God.
That's it.
When you have God in the center, then you're a hardworking individual, you have your core values, you have your core principles, you want stability, you don't want elections, you don't want wars. When you have God in the center.
Yeah.
And if there's a war, okay, I'm ready to die, I'm ready to fight, this is the man's job.
Yeah.
But it all comes from the God-centered reality. That's my perspective. Because if you look at the world as it is, what kind of goals you can have in this life, you can make money, you can make all of this. You can travel the world, you go here, go there, build big business. But what brings the satisfaction to the heart? Satisfaction to the heart brings close connections, deep friendships. And in the age of social media, this is the reason why people love podcasts.
Yeah. It's beautiful.
The people love podcasts because we're not having these conversations at the dinner tables, because there are so few dinner tables where people come together, they make a home-cooked meal, and they open up their hearts to each other. So we're sitting together, somebody's gonna listen to this, and they're jumping into the podcast to hear what they're not used to be hearing at their friends and circle around them.
Yeah.
To have this deeper bond. This is the reality we live in today. It could be very sad, but the only way to live is to have God in the center. This is just my experience. People who have who have some principles in their life, they're the ones. They're the one that are the most reliable.
Yeah, principles is a very, could say, is a guiding way to your life. You know,
Exactly.
every man have to have your principles of law on how you want to run them, how you want to be, and also.
Sorry, that's how they've destroyed the West. They've taken out religion. They've taken out the family unit. You know,
Yeah.
slowly, they're just destroying everything.
And nobody's eating now home with your family nowadays. Before, you gotta wait your husband or your boyfriend, whatever, to come back, eat the food that you cook and stuff like that, and that is happening. Oh, I'm hungry. Go to the restaurant. Tell your
Exactly.
girlfriend that, please, can you make me some pizza? Nah, go to Domino's. Go to Magpie.
But there is no love in this food. There is
That's
no
what I'm
love.
saying.
There is no affection. So there is no
I love
relationship.
cooking. You know, I love cooking. Like when you cook for me, I prefer to eat that satisfactory than when you
Exactly.
cook outside. I'm a person who cook a lot. So any food I test, I can tell you the good taste. The last time we went to the one restaurant, very good one. They cook a very good beef. I can sense that whoever cooked that one, cook it with love. You understand? It's one of the restaurants that I've been to. They have very, very, very cooked beef.
Mm-hmm.
And I can sense, oh, you know what? I can go back there and go and get food again. But there are some places that you go to, you feel like, oh, fuck. Oh, my. Who sent these people to come here? I was eating some shawarma sometime around the shawarma area within my office.
Yeah.
I went back to the toilet almost the whole week. I make good shawarma myself. Anytime I make shawarma, it's good. I don't go to the toilet to push, but when I buy it outside, it's fucked as hell. You understand? So you understand that we are in a generation where ladies have been, couldn't say modern. I think modern in the sense it's a choice by man, right? You know, imagine many years ago, they wear suits, but different kind of suit. These coats, right?
Yeah.
People wear them big. You know, they wear them with very nice shoes and stuff like that. They wear big chains. You know, we call them olden days 50 cent. You understand?
Yeah.
You know, those things are now back in the system. Before, you see a guy wearing a very tight trouser, you know, and then hip it up off here. It's now back in the system. People are doing them. It's like the world is repeating, but they are trying to change it in a different dialogue. When you check most of this fashion that happened, fashion shows, you feel like, oh, the fuck, this is what happened in the years ago. Like, many years ago. 20, 50 years ago, and shit are still happening. So I believe people use the word modern on changing their own mindset. The only thing that is modern is technology that has changed a lot of things in the universe, making things more easier than before. Before, there's no flight. You gotta walk miles, sea, ships, you know, camels to reach to one destination. Now, a ship, a boat, within a few hours you're there. You know,
Exactly.
vehicles before, gas. Before, everybody was like, I gotta buy petrol, I gotta buy gas, I gotta buy all that. But now we have electric vehicles. Who knows, in the next 5-10 years, there will not be any petrol for use. They'll only be used for other, you know, carbon, whatever they call them, right?
Exactly.
And then you see now that Tesla is is becoming crazy. Chinese cars, BYD, and all the kind of Chinese models. You see them sometimes, be like, oh man, all these brands are fucked. All these Volkswagen, you know, Audi, Benz, you know, they will go off the market very soon.
Yeah, but that's
They
not
don't
because
change.
that's not because of people don't want combustion engines. That's because the government are forcing them to go to electric in the West. That's the other
Yeah.
problem. You know, this.
You know, actually, I saw a video yesterday about McKinsey did a study of consumers of electric vehicles,
Mhm.
and there's a big. You see what happened?
You know. Sorry about this. You know, 35% of Tesla owners are giving them back in America.
Really?
Yeah, after the
Tesla?
first year, they've had enough. They're a niche.
It's not practical.
They're not practical. They're a niche thing. You know, it's all right around the city here, right? For example, right? But if you wanted to go, say your mother lives in Goma, right? And go there and back and all that, it's just impractical, right?
It's useless.
Yeah, exactly. So, and then also it's now to seem to be oil itself is right. It's not a finite resource, right? The Earth actually produces it in the depths of the planet, and then it seeps upwards, just like on these planets and moons in the solar system, methane and all these other hydrocarbons, right? The only fossil fuel is actually coal. The rest of it, oil, gas, is actually produced by the planet itself. You know, there's places in America where the well had dried out, right, and now there's oil back in it again. It's come back. So I don't think. But Toyota's a good example. They said
the Japanese they're a good example. Yeah.
There's no way he said, the Toyota guy. He said there's no way they're going to EVs, right? Because he said it's impractical. You know,
it's only the only thing that you said. And this is true. It's only practical for the taxis in the city.
Yeah.
This is it.
Taxis, buses. That's fine.
Exactly.
Delivery vehicles, maybe for Amazon around the city.
Yeah.
Yeah, you charge them overnight and off you go.
Yeah, exactly.
So so what they said is that a lot of people are giving back their cars.
Yeah.
And they've been driving them for some time, and then they see it's not. This is the experience I had. I rented a electric vehicle to see if I want to buy one. It's not practical at all.
It's a no way for you though.
Yeah, it's just not a practical thing to do. And what happened in Europe is that they did a huge propaganda. Buy the electric. This is blah blah blah. People still believe that it's more environmentally friendly to buy electric cars. It's just crazy to me.
It's not at all. Yeah.
It's absolutely not. So they do a lot of propaganda, and people are influenced by advertising. They're influenced by the government supporting those type of cars. But what happened now is that China, they produce them, and they're cheaper than the European ones.
Way cheaper.
And
way.
What the European government and their marketing put into all this money, so they hoped that people would buy European electric vehicles.
That was the opposite.
But now they're buying the Chinese ones.
Yeah, I know.
And all this money that they spend on installing this idea in people's heads, now they're all going towards the Chinese market.
And as you said earlier, they're destroying other companies like Volkswagen.
Exactly.
Yep.
Read this book. This book's on cobalt mining and just how bad it is for the environment, and also essentially slave labor, using kids and all that to dig it up for batteries and all that sort of thing. So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yes, there's a guy in Russian YouTube. He does a car show, and he did a big documentary about this, explaining that it's absolutely not environmentally efficient to have an EV or to have this production at all.
No.
And people should be even thinking in this direction.
Yeah, well, they did a study in the UK, I think, over 5 years or 7 years, something like that, having an EV, almost the same as having a combustible car, as in running it.
Exactly.
Right? So, and people don't realise, because they're heavier, they use the tyres more, they use the brakes more.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. And they also, I don't know if you know this, they're getting banned, in the ferries coming across the channel. You're not allowed to take an EV on there anymore.
Really?
Just in case it goes on. No, because it goes on fire, just in case. Because they've been having these combustible fire, these things just setting themselves on fire. And multi-level car parks, right?
Also don't take the EVs, yeah.
Well, that's because they're too heavy. These car parks would be designed for normal cars, right? So there's more and more of these really heavy EVs coming in. It's putting a strain on the building itself, so they're stopping them as well.
Wow.
And in England's a good example. They've stopped, buy an EV, and then there's no road tax, petrol tax.
Mm-hmm.
But now the government revenue's falling, so now they're thinking about charging per mile. So
for EV?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Anyway,
it's a big scam.
It's and if you look at so many scams in this world. So many scams.
Yeah.
And the only way for people to navigate it is to see how people lived before. That's my understanding.
On tonight's UAP update, Danny Sheehan warns that the elite powers across the globe are steering the planet towards an unprecedented threat, thermonuclear war and environmental collapse. These elites, determined to retain control over the global petroleum industry, are actively polluting the earth and endangering its life-generating capacity. This reckless trajectory may prompt an intervention by extraterrestrial or non-human civilizations. Such an intervention would not only unveil the presence of advanced civilizations, but would expose the unpreparedness of global power structures, leading to a catastrophic disclosure. This disclosure would disrupt the existing order, revealing secrets of the elite have long kept hidden from us. Let's watch this.
That have risen into power in both hemispheres are threatening thermonuclear destruction of the planet.
Yeah.
Okay, they're engaging in the maintenance of control over the petroleum industry and polluting the planet and polluting the oceans and threatening the life-generating capacity of our planet. Okay, they are on the very brink of actually instigating a potential intervention on the part of an extraterrestrial civilization in order to preserve the life-generating capacity of our planet. That's what's happening right now, and that's what's panicking them. So all of a sudden they've come forward saying, "Wait a second, that we think that we're on the brink of some potential intervention here, and if they intervene in an aggressive enough way to shut off our nuclear weapons capacities in both East and West, that's going to reveal their presence, and we aren't ready yet." We haven't really taken the steps that are necessary to prepare our people for the intervention of an extraterrestrial civilization like this. And so you see this thing happening right now, kind of this mysterious process going on of some element inside the national security state coming forward, with the either pretense
Yes.
or at least posture of being good guys all of a sudden.
That's right.
Of that they've seen the light. And that they think, I'm really feeling bad about, how secretive we've been.
Let's
and
tell
the,
everyone.
The excesses, and so, but let's make it clear. We're not here talking about revealing everything. We're talking about revealing some things. And there's some other things that we just really can't reveal, but we can't tell you what those are. Under any circumstance, we can't tell you what they are. But one of the things that they'll lead right with is, of course, whatever the changes are that are going to be flowing from disclosure, we can't have them alter the elements of power on the planet right now. That's number one. Okay, that would be, in their view, catastrophic.
Yes.
Primarily because they view themselves as being assigned responsibility for keeping
Right.
those people in power.
Right.
That's how they view their military covert mission. Okay.
They want to sustain what they have.
That's right. And so there are other things that one's an obvious one, right?
Of course.
Then they have others like that. Well, there may be some things that have been done on behalf of maintaining the secrets down through the decades. They may have engaged in untoward activity toward private citizens.
They would never do that, Danny.
And that would be catastrophic to reveal some of that, because if you revealed that, then the confidence of the people in that elite would be diminished.
And in Chile, South America, this UAP appeared out of the clouds.
Estoy grabándolo, weón, espérate. No,
Tomás, el papá se mueve.
está avanzando.
Préstame. Oh, qué increíble. No llevo.
Jota, no mueves la malla.
Oye, eso no es un avión.
No, si no es un avión. Y hay otro. Jota, hay otro. Hay otro.
Hay dos. Empezó la invasión alien, weón.
Oiga, qué guacho.
El día de la independencia tenía razón.
Dame los lentes, Jota, te los tengo ya. Dame los lentes.
¿A dónde están, papá?
There's another one.
Los lentes, préstame. Oye, eso
Cállate. Hay uno que está parado y el otro va avanzando hacia él, weón. Weón, mira, Jota. Mira mi pantalla.
Sí lo veo.
Qué espectacular, weón.
impresionante.
¿Viste? Y no me creían. Esto mucho más allá de las noticias, pero claro.
Llévenme, por favor, llévenme con ustedes.
¡Tráiganme!
No me viste.
Llévenme con ustedes.
Es que se ve como si fuera una nube.
Se quedó quieto.
No.
Está quieto. Ahora está avanzando.
Viste, no me creían.
Oye. Dile. Hallo. Jij gaat staan oudje, dat is. ¿Qué
espectáculo.
Tenía que ser como si fueran nubes. Por eso no. Hay que matar Anton. No.
And there was continued numerous mass UFO sightings over America, which are continued to be shared online. It looks like they're getting ready. Let's watch this one.
What in the world is this?
So what do you think about these UAPs? You think they're real? What's all these sightings? Are they coming? Are they here? What do you think? Leave a message in the comments. Coming to the end of the show, and of course there's the fan favourite. You don't see that in Belarus. None of this coming up you'll see here. In the UK, future doctors and engineers just taking things from Sainsbury's supermarket without paying. In Florida, Miami.
Well, it's like, you live all year long in your little box. When you come here for 1 week, you can kind of live out crazy fantasies. And you can get away with it and no one cares. And what happens in Key West stays here.
My husband and I were talking about.
Have you been before? Oh, cool.
And from one couple who were chained together with a dog leash to another one. And finally in Australia, in Brisbane, 500 naked people on a bridge for some reason. So you don't see any of that in Belarus, not a little bit, one bit, nothing, none of that at all. Come here, none of it. So that is it, and the end of live show number 92 already. Only 8 to go for our 100th show, and on that show we will give away to one of our subscribers 100 in their currency. So if you're in the US, you'll win $100. If you're in the UK, you'll win £100. If you're in the EU, you'll win €100. If you're in Australia, you'll win $100 and if you're in Belarus or Russia, it will be $100. And all you need to do is be a subscriber on both Rumble and YouTube for at least 5 shows prior to the 100th, and we will randomly pick out one of those subscribers and give them the money. Well, we'll have to send it to you via PayPal, so make sure you've got an account on there. It's the only way we can get it to you. And of course, we'll be soon moving to a bigger place, and we'll have a new co-host joining us as well. This person is from the USA, who calls Minsk his home. That should be pretty cool. This Friday is the first emotional support animal show on their YouTube channel, where I'll be co-hosting the show with a lady from London, and we'll have those who have ESSAs on the show to talk about their ESSA and how it's helped them through their daily life. And next Tuesday on the 4th of Minsk we'll be at a hockey game, so watch our Telegram and X channels for video clips, and the next day for a video from the game. And of course the US election is on November 5th in the USA, and of course, as you probably know, we are rooting for Trump to win. And the next morning, Minsk time, 3 a.m. roughly, which will be around 9 p.m. in the USA on their Tuesday, we will have a live show covering the US election with studio guests and a guest from the UK or guests from the UK and the USA as we cover the US election results as they come in. So come and watch that. Thanks for tuning. We appreciate it. If you can hit the thumbs up, it'll be great. Also, please share the video near and wide on your social media to help this channel grow. And if you haven't, please subscribe. And you need to subscribe if you want to win that money to Rumble and YouTube channels. Hope you liked tonight's show, and we'll be back for the next show this Sunday. So hope you can come back to see that. Thanks again, and we'll see you on the next show. Goodbye.